What's up, guys? All right, we have lesson 3-5. They call it veggie pizzas, but we're going to call it using benchmark fractions. Now, with this lesson, it's actually a 2-day lesson, but we're going to condense it down into 1 day for this activity. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what a benchmark fraction is, and then we are going to go into your activity in your math journal. All right, so first off, what is a benchmark fraction? Well, a benchmark fraction, these are common fractions that we use to help us measure, compare, and order our fractions. So what does that mean? Well, if I had a number line here, okay, some of the most common benchmark fractions that we have are 0, half, and 1. So we have 0, so this is like 0 fourths. All right, so we'll use fourths as an example. 0 fourths. Well, then we have over here, the extreme is 4 fourths because that equals 1 whole. So 0 fourths, there's nothing there. 4 fourths, the whole thing is there. And then half would be what's half of 4? Well, in that case, it's going to be 2. So 2 fourths. So this is going to be really 2 fourths over here. So let's look at our 3 fractions down at the bottom, and we're going to order these based on where they would appear on my number line. All right, so again, I'm going to use 0, half, and 1 to help me out. And every time your denominator change, so this is 10, this is 4, this is 6, you have to change where you space the different pieces, okay? So watch what I do. All right, we're going to look at 10 tenths first. Now, this is really going to be 0 tenths. What's half of 10? This is really going to be 5 tenths. Okay. And then this is going to be 1 whole, which is going to be 10 over 10, right? Okay, so we have 10 over 10. 0 over 10. Boom, there you go. Now, where would 10 tenths go? Well, if I ate 10 pieces out of 10 whole pieces, it's going to go over here to my 1 whole. Let me move my camera. Perfect. So 1 whole is where it's going to go. So it's going to go right here, okay, in this spot. Take my eraser, erase what I drew here, erase what I drew here, and I am done with that one. Next, we're going to talk about 3 fourths. Well, let me think about it. If I had 4 pieces, okay, and I still had 3 pieces left, that's almost the whole, correct? Okay, so that's almost the whole, but let's look and see where everything is located. So again, we're going to write 0 fourths. What's half of 4? We have 2 fourths. And this would really be 4 fourths, correct? All right, so 4 fourths here. Now, where would 3 fourths lie? 0 fourths, this is going to be 1 fourth, 2 fourths, 3 fourths will be right here. So I can realistically put my fraction here. Perfect. All right. Because it's not quite 4 fourths yet, and it's over 2 fourths. So I kind of put it in the middle between those two. All right. And then finally, we have 1/6. So again, get my marker out. I do 0/6. I have what's half of 6 is 3, 3/6. And then finally, we have 6/6 over here. All right. So where would my 1/6 go? 0/6, 3/6, 6/6. Well, it's actually going to go right in here. Now, as you are comparing these and ordering these, you don't have to worry so much with the exact placement of where it's going to go, as long as you get it in between these 2 benchmark fractions right here. But you can see that there's nothing else in between these, so I could put it wherever I wanted to over here. I know that it goes about right here, so that's where I'm going to put it, okay? But again, if you notice these, 3 fourths and 10 tenths, 10 tenths is always going to be on the end, okay, if this is 1 whole. If it's 2 wholes, we'll talk about that later. But this is just 1 whole right now, and this is 10 tenths. So 3 fourths would go somewhere right in here, and there you go. There's that. All right. Now we're going to be talking about your lesson work up here. Okay, so we're going to use benchmark fractions. So it says each of the rectangles below is one whole unit. So each one of these equals one whole. Now we're going to label each strip with one of the following fractions. So 1/10, 9/10, 7/8, 4/7, 2/5, or 1/8. We're going to use our benchmarks as 0, 1/2, and 1 to help us. So what I like to do is I like to label mine already. So this is 0, roughly this is half, and then this is one whole. Okay? And I'm only going to do numbers 1 and 2. I'll let you do the rest of them on your page. All right. So we have 0, 1/2, and one whole. All right. So let's look at this. This line right here goes to about right here. So it's close to one whole. So I'm looking for a fraction that's close to being a full set. Okay, a full set. So let's look at 1/10. Is 1/10 close to a full whole? Not quite. 1/10 would be down here. Okay, let's look at 9/10. 9/10 could work. Okay, so I'm going to underline that because it's almost 10/10, which equals one whole. Let's see, what about 7/8? Could be 7/8 as well, because 8/8 would be close to one whole. All right, 4/7. Well, what's half of 7? Well, if you don't know offhand, what's half of 6? 3. Then add another half to that. So it'd be 3.5. So that one's closer to half, so that's not it. 2/5. Well, 2.5 is actually half of 5, so that wouldn't work. And then 1/8 would be back down here. So between 9/10 and 7/8. So if I were to look at my page over here, I would see, is this close? And what I would do is I would actually look down at the rest of them. So I have this one right here. Okay. I think I know which one it is. All right. So this one right here, if I look at it and I had my fraction circles and fraction strips, I would choose that 9/10 would go on this line because that would be closer to this hole right here. Okay, if I were to break these up, because I have to break them up into smaller pieces as my denominator gets bigger. All right, so that would be 9/10 on this line. Now, number 2, this is almost half, so it's right here, okay? So it's close to the half benchmark. So if I look at this, let me erase these, perfect. Okay, so it's not this one and it's not this one. So I've already got that one, so I can just mark it out. 1/10, like we said, will down here. 7/8, it wouldn't be that one. It could be 4/7. It could be 2/5, but it probably wouldn't be 1/8 because 1/8 would be down here. So let's figure out how it could be either 4/7 or 2/5. Now, which side of this half is that line on? It's closer to the one whole, right? So we are going to be looking for a fraction that is closer to one whole based on the halfway mark. So 4/7, it's actually going to be 3.5 out of 7 would be half. Okay, and then half for this would be 2.5 out of 5. Okay, so 2.5 out of 5 would be half. All right, 3.5 out of 7 would be half. So this is 4 out of 7. Okay, so 4/7. So that one's a little bit higher, okay, than half. This one's 2/5. So 2/5 would actually be lower or less than 1/2. So this line, since it's larger than 1/2, this needs to be 4/7. Okay, hopefully you could understand that concept some. If you need more assistance, just let us know and we can try to help you as best as possible. Okay, all right, good luck.